What's up, guys? How you doing? This is Josh from KeepItTechie, your go-to channel for all things Linux and tech career guidance. And today we're diving into an exciting project, and that's setting up Nextcloud on Rocky Linux 9.5. So whether you're looking to manage your personal files or set up a collaborative environment for your team, then Nextcloud is a fantastic open source solution. And just so you guys know, a couple months ago, I did the same install, but I did it on Ubuntu. So if you want to do it on Ubuntu, I have a detailed guide showing you guys how to do it on Ubuntu 24.04. You can get it installed on that. But if you want to use Rocky, which is one of the closest distros to Red Hat, and then also on the 9.5 version that was just released, then go down and follow this guide, and this will get you set up. So let's go down and roll up our sleeves and get this cloud up and running. Let's get to it. All right, so before we jump into the installation, I'm at nextcloud.com, and let's go down and talk about what Nextcloud is and why you might want to use it. So Nextcloud is a self-hosted cloud storage platform that gives you control over your data. Unlike third-party services, hosting your own cloud means your files stay private and secure under your own roof. And it's perfect for personal use, so you can store your photos, documents, and media files and access them from any device. And then also team collaborations. That's one cool thing about it. So let's say you have a home business and you have 2 or 3 employees and you want to share files, share the calendar and contacts with your colleagues, then this will definitely enhance productivity. Or even if you have 20, 30 people in your business, you know what I'm saying? This is a way for you guys to communicate and be productive at your business remotely using your own services that you control. And then also the last thing is the data privacy aspect of using Nextcloud. You basically maintain control over sensitive information without having to rely on external providers. And then plus with Rocky Linux 9, which is what we'll focus in on this video, which is that recent release, there are some featured updates like Podman 5.0 and enhanced web server capabilities. It's an ideal platform for hosting Nextcloud. All right, so enough about Nextcloud. I just wanted to give you guys a brief introduction on what Nextcloud is all about, but let's get our hands dirty and hop over to the installation. Hey y'all, Josh here from KeepItTechie. Real quick, let's talk about Rocky Linux. This distro is the real deal if you're looking for a solid enterprise-ready Linux solution. It all started after Red Hat dropped CentOS, and Gregory Kurtzer, the OG co-founder of CentOS, brought us Rocky Linux as a tribute to his late friend, Rocky McGough. This is community-driven, open source software at its finest, and it's already making waves. Rocky Linux 8.10 is out now, giving you that enterprise-grade stability without all the Red Hat licensing headaches. So whether you're running a home lab or a full-on data center, Rocky's got your back. So if you want to keep it open source and keep your data secure, check out Rocky Linux. The link's down in the description of the video. It's built by the community, for the community, and it's here to stay. Stay techie, y'all. All right, cool. So I'm logged into Rocky 9. Let's go and open up the terminal, because the first thing we need to do is update our system if it's not up to date. So you can run sudo dnf updates and -y. And I know mine is updated. I don't even need to update it or run it. I'm just running it so you guys can know the process. If you run this on your system, you want to make sure you update your system. You want to run this command first. That way it'll check, it'll resolve any dependencies that need any updates or any packages that need any updates on the system, because you want to do that first. Now, I got a couple of dependencies that I need to install on the system, and I put them in a text file on here into my documents. And let's go to file. Yeah, there we go. Let's open this up. So these are dependencies for Nextcloud. I know we're going to need a web server, which is HTTPD, Apache, and then MariaDB. We need a database, and then we need PHP, scripting language. So we need that installed on there, as well as some other add-ons for PHP, like PHP MySQL add-on, the XML, the database, the JSON tools, curl tools. So we're going to go down and install all that. I just didn't want to type all that out. That's why I went on and typed it out beforehand, before I recorded this. So it'll be easy for me to copy it in, and you guys don't have to wait for me to type it all in. But sudo DNF install, and then all you have to do is put in all these commands or all these package names, and then that's why at the end of it, and that'll go down and answer that question for you. Yes, you want to install these packages, and boom, it cannot find them. Oh, and I see what the issue is. If you look in here when I was typing it earlier, and yeah, you need to make sure you type it in. I didn't put a dash there, and I put a space between that dash right there. So that's what the issue is. It's just the package names were not typed in correctly. So I can just type sudo DNF install and then paste that in again, and it should be able to find the packages this time. Yeah, I typed them in incorrectly. So just go on, press enter. Yeah, there we go. So we're good to go. It found all the packages that time. It'll go through and install everything for us. But I go on, skip ahead while it installs all this stuff for us. So now that those finished, let's check out services for it. Let's type sudo systemctl, and then let's check out the status for HTTPD. Let's check that out right fast. Let's just see what the service is doing right now. It's probably not loaded. Let's go down and enable it right fast. So we can just press the up arrow. Let's just enable it. So whenever we reboot the system, it'll start it up. And let's do the same for MySQL or MariaDB. So MariaDB, and we could just press enter, and that'll do that for us. And to check that, just so you guys can see it, if you check the status again, you'll see the difference right here where it says the service right now is enabled. That means that it's enabled. So when you restart the system, it'll start this service on boot. So just so you guys know, that's what the enable does. It'll start that service. But right now the service is not started. And actually, let's check MariaDB as well. So let's check that, because it might have started it. Sometimes these packages will start depending on how they set up the install. It'll start the actual application or the service running in the background. And it looks like on Rocky Linux it doesn't, and that might be by design. It doesn't store those services because it don't want to store them without the user specifically going in and actually starting those services. Now let's go down and store them. And I just wanted to show you guys that, but we can go down and store them. They don't have to be stopped. We can store them now. I just wanted to show you guys the difference between those commands. And then we can check the status of MariaDB again. Boom, you'll see it's active. That's the difference right there. So it's running now. So it can receive requests and all that stuff. And then let's go down and start HTTPD. Press enter. That'll start that as well. And we can check the status of it. And boom, there we go. It's active and running. So we can receive requests at the address of this server. So if we go to that IP address of that server from the browser, it should be receiving requests from the Apache server. So we're good to go. All right. So now that we got our services started, you might see something a little different in the text file. I went on and wrote out some commands I need to run when we get in the database or in MariaDB. I'll show you guys that in a second, but first off, we need to secure our database. There's a command, it's a built-in script that comes with MariaDB, and let me go down and clear the screen so you guys can see. But if you run sudo, and then it's MySQL, and it's _ secure, and it's included with all versions. So if you install MariaDB or MySQL, either one of them, it'll come with this script, and it's named the same. MySQL _ secure installation. So if you press this, it'll take you through a couple things, right, that will secure your server. And I'll show you guys those right fast. So first thing is setting up the root account or setting up the root password. You can leave it at nothing. You don't have to put anything in here for the root account. I'm gonna put nothing in here, but I recommend you setting the root password. I'm gonna just leave it blank because I don't need anything for it, but I'm gonna go through and answer yes to everything. That's what you need to do. You need to put yes to everything, which is enter. As you can see, the Y is capital, so the default is Y. So if you press enter, that will do everything. And if you look at it, it's basically saying switch to Unix socket authentication. So we want that. Yes. Change the root password. You already have a root account protected, so you can safely answer no. I'm gonna just say no on this and press enter. And then right here, remove anonymous. So you want to just press yes. Disallow root login remotely. Yes, that's fine. Remove test database and access to it. Yes. Low privilege table now. Yes. And boom, we're good. So that did all the changes that we needed for the server as far as SQL goes, or MySQL goes. It just basically cleans up the database and get it ready for a production setup, and it enhances security. Now let's go down and log into it. So like I said, I didn't put a password on the root account, so I'm gonna just type MySQL and then tag U, and all I had to do is type root and then tag P and press enter, and that'll log me in because I didn't put a password on it. So what I'm gonna do is just create a database, and I'm gonna walk through each one of these so you guys can see. I just didn't want to type it all out, so I typed it out before recording so you guys can just see what it's gonna do, and I'll explain it all. So this is gonna create the new database, which is Nextcloud. That's gonna be the database name. So let's press enter, that'll create that. And then right here, this is gonna create a user called NC user, and that's basically the Nextcloud user that I wanna create, and it's a local account. And it's identified by this password. So that's the password, the login password for it. And you wanna make sure you take note of whatever you give the password to for that account, because you're gonna need it when you do the final setup of Nextcloud, once you get it set up on the system. So let's go down and paste that in there and press enter. And as long as you see query okay, you're good. You typed everything in correctly. Now, the next thing is grant our privileges on the Nextcloud database, our tables, to the NC user account that's at localhost. So just going to paste that in there. That'll give it all the privileges to that database because it needs it in order to write whatever it needs to the tables, and also create whatever it needs. And like I said, you need to know what this account name is as well as the password, because at the final setup, it's going to ask you for the username and password that has access to the database so it can create all the tables that it needs to finish the install of Nextcloud. So let's go and press enter. Boom, good to go. And then all we have to do is flush our privileges, and I'll go down and paste that in there as well. Press enter, and then we can exit out. So we're good with our database. And like I said, just remember what that password is. I just use some default password, capital P, 12345, but you want to make sure it's secure, and you want to make sure you have it somewhere stored. I recommend you put it in a password manager and lock it down. That way, no one else can have access to it in case you forget it, you know what I'm saying? But you want to make it super strong and something different from any other password that you use for anything else, just so someone can't get into it. All right, so the next thing we need to do is go down and install Nextcloud or download Nextcloud. So let me CD or clear the screen right fast, and we need to CD to our war directory, www, and then HTML directory. And this is the default location for Apache. And what I'm talking about is the web file. So let's press enter. So we'll be in that location, and let's go down and download the Nextcloud site. So if we go, let's go down, open up Firefox right fast. And what we need to do is get the link. So let's search for Nextcloud. Yeah, there we go, nextcloud.com. And if you click on the download, go to Nextcloud server, self-hosted. Let's go to community projects. You can go to changelog. Click on changelog. And let me show you guys this so you guys know. If you click here, this is going to download a P setup script type thing. It's going to look at your system and see what it needs to download. But if you go to changelog, you can download what you want. This is like some automated feature or whatever. So just go to changelog, open up another tab. This will allow you to get whatever release you want. So let's say you want 30, 29, 28. You can even go to older unsupported versions if you wanted to. But we're going to get 30, the latest version. This was released on December. So we're going to go with that one. And what I'm going to do is just grab the zip. That's fine. It doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is right click on it, hit copy link, boom. And then we can minimize this. All we have to do is type sudo wget, and then we can paste that link in there. Boom. And I'll download that zip file in that location, type in our sudo passwords. And like I said, they'll download 30 for us, and we're good to go. We don't even need this browser anymore, so we can go down and close it in our location. So it'll download, like I said, to that location, HTML. And then now we need to unzip. I'm not sure if unzip is on here, but we may have to install that. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Let's go. I'm gonna just type sudo. The command is yeah, it's on there. Yeah, it's on there. Cool. And then we can just type Nextcloud 30. And boom, that'll inflate it in that same directory. And if we ls our HTML directory, we'll see we have that Nextcloud directory. And that's what we want. We want it in there. And then let's go down and change our permissions on that, because right now it's owned by root, and we want to make some changes to that. So ch own, let's make sure we change that to be owned by as well as the group. You can change that to Apache, and then that Nextcloud directory. And then we put the -or in there for recursive, so that'll capture all the directories and files below that directory. So press enter, good to go. And then also let's change the permissions. So I'm gonna just back this off this user and group, and let's just put 755 because that's the permissions I want to set. And let's go chmod, and this will change the permissions of that directory recursively, which means it'll change it for everything underneath that directory as well. So press enter, boom, good to go. So we got our permission set for that directory. And you can actually delete that zip file if you want to, or you can keep it. Let's say you mess it up for some reason, you can delete the Nextcloud directory that you unzipped and then unzip it again, change your permissions again, and then it'll basically be starting from scratch. You know what I'm saying? You want to have your files there, a database will be there. You'll have to clean that database because it's going to look for a fresh database. You know what I'm saying? When it's going through the install process. So it's going to see the remnants of the last install that was there. So you have to delete all the tables out of it. But yeah, you can definitely start from scratch. All right, so we done with this directory. Let's see the CD out of there. All right, so just like before, I went on and typed out what I needed. And this is for the configuration file that we need for Apache in order for it to find the website files and host it out. So let me show you guys how to set up your configuration for Apache, which is what we need to do next. And we can type sudo, and I'm not sure if nano is on here. Yeah, it should be on here. So let's go etc. I like nano. You can use whatever text editor you want. I know a lot of people like Vi or Vim. It's all personal preference. It doesn't make you any better because you know how to use Vim or Vi or whatever, or you want to use Vim or Vi. I get it. You got your little shortcuts and all that stuff that you use. That's cool and all, you know what I'm saying? I just want something to get the job done. I use nano. It works for me. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And then we want to go into our configuration directory, and then let's create a configuration file for Nextcloud. So we could just name it Nextcloud and you could copy, you know, one of the configuration files in there if you want to, because I think it's a default one in there, but I'm gonna just create one. And then, like I said, I already typed out everything that I need. I'm gonna just copy it and put it in there just to make things simple. And I'll walk you guys through what I actually put in there, and we'll have to type in our sudo password because this directory is owned by root. So and just go on, copy this and put this in there right fast. Boom. And basically it's a virtual host with Apache. This is how you set up virtual hosts. You can create multiple configuration files and you can enable them. And they have different, this is the Nextcloud directory that's under HTML directory. You can create another directory under there for a different website. You just have to specify the domain name as well as the IP address, which I don't have a domain name on here. I'm gonna just use the IP address. I just threw that in there just so you guys can see, but you could put like whatever the domain name, and then most likely you're gonna be using a cloud server. So you can point a domain name to it and have all that up there. But I just put the IP address up there. That's fine for right now for this demonstration. You know what I'm saying? And I put some other options in here as far as the directory, the follow symlinks, allow overrides, require all granted, which is fine. We got our error logs going. It'll create those under vor log, Nextcloud error log, so we can check our logs if we need to, all that good stuff. So let's go on and save it right fast. Boom. And there are examples out there for Nextcloud configurations, so you could just find one online. But that's how I built this one out. So it's not too difficult to set up. So don't worry about it, guys. I know I've been saying I'm gonna update my website. I'm working on that still, but I'll eventually catch up and then I'll show you. I have all this information out there for you guys to kind of copy paste and all that stuff. It's just like I've always said, I'm a one-man shop. You know what I'm saying? I do all this stuff on my own. I know nobody to help me at all. Now, if someone wants to help me, I can't pay you because I don't really make much off this channel. You know what I'm saying? It's all like volunteer work at the end of the day. But if somebody wants to help me, you're more than welcome to. But I'm doing this stuff by myself and I'm just trying to help people. So it is what it is. All right. So now that we got our configuration file complete, all we have to do is restart our Apache server. And this will apply our new configuration. So let's type sudo systemctl restart, and then httpd, press enter, and that will restart our server for us. Boom. Hold on. I think I messed up the configuration file. So if I go back into the configuration file, this wasn't supposed to be localhost. I don't know why I changed this to localhost, but this part of the configuration file should be server name, because it designates the server name, and then you could put your domain name there. And then I think the next line is like an alias or something, and you could put like the other name without the www, put, let's say, www.keepitechie.com up here at the top, and then you put keepitechie.com on the second line as an alias, and then other aliases. But anyway, that's what's causing it to fail the restart. So that should fix it. Yeah, there we go. So let's clear that right fast. So we should be good. Sorry about that. But we should be able to we can go localhost on here. It should work. So we go localhost, boom, and then Nextcloud. I forgot. It requires 8. That's what it says. So Nextcloud. Let me type Nextcloud in here and just see if it actually goes to it. So localhost. So we are currently warning 8.0. So we have to update our version of PHP. All right, this will be a good, quick, just test right fast. Just show you guys how to fix this. So let's type sudo dnf module list PHP and let's check this out and see what it gives us right fast, because I've done this in the past. Okay, all right, so PHP 8.1. Yeah, we can set that one as a default. All you have to do is you can enable the specific one you want to enable. So all you have to do is type sudo dnf module reset PHP. Press enter, that'll reset it. And then now you can type sudo dnf module enable p, and then you want to put colon 8.1 and press enter, and that should enable that stream. Yeah, and it's gonna ask you, is this okay? And you want to type yes. So Y for yes, press enter, boom. It's gonna say complete, good to go. And now all we have to do is install PHP again. So if we type, I'm gonna just copy the commands again like we did last time, and it should install the correct version. Yeah, 8.1, yeah, good to go. And you can tell, you see this? It says 8.1, and it's gonna install the 8.1 version. So let's press enter there, type that Y in there. It's gonna install 8.1 for us, which is what it's looking for. It's requiring PHP 8.1. All right, so we good to go right there. And now all we have to do, we can verify the version of PHP we have installed by typing PHP-v, press enter. They'll let you know you got it right there. So boom, good to go. Now, in order for this to take, or for Nextcloud to recognize it, we need to restart Apache. So we type systemctl and then Apache. And it's not Apache, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about damn Ubuntu. Yeah, so let's go down and restart it fast, boom. And then if we refresh this, now it says it can't write to the configuration directory. All right, now I think I know what the issue is. I had to do a little research on the side or whatever, but one thing I didn't think about was the SE Linux, which I'm not sure if that's actually enabled on here. I don't think I enabled that on this system, but I'm gonna run the commands to see if that's actually causing the issue. I don't think so, because as you can see, the firewall is not on because we can actually get to the site. So I don't know, but let's restart Apache again. Let's go and restart the web server and see if that actually fixes it. And that's what it was. It was that damn SE Linux settings. So it's enabled on the system by default. Okay, so that's what was causing the issue, the permission issues. So all our permissions were set correctly. Just need to run that chcon in order to allow it to write to that directory, especially the SE Linux permissions. So now we're good to go. Let's go down and set this thing up. Sorry about that, guys. It took a minute, at least on my end, but let's go down and type in a username and password. I'm gonna just put admin for the username and password. And I'll just put something simple in there, and then we can install, and it's gonna ask us for our SQL information in a couple minutes. And actually, let's click here. Yeah, there we go. No, I didn't choose that. MySQL. I chose MySQL. Why did it do that? You chose SQLite as a database. No, I did not. So now we got 2 database systems on here. That's one thing I don't like about the automated installs and stuff like that. Nextcloud on all devices. Okay, so this is the setup, but let me show you guys this right fast, or at least let's go in here and look. Administrative settings. So I'm sure it installed something else on here. That's why we got these errors. An exception occurred while running the setup, like PHP memory limit is below the recommended. Okay, we can make changes to that. Version, yeah, this is not right. Something is not right with it. Profile, email server. And what I'm looking for is our database server because it didn't ask me any of the information for the database. So therefore it installed something on the server that I didn't want it to install. And that's not a good thing. I don't want this thing installing anything that I didn't ask for it to install. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like that. Let me just say that. I don't like that. That's one thing I don't like about this newer version. I know the previous version that I installed on Ubuntu, it did not do that. It did not just install what it wanted on the system without asking me what I wanted to install. See, it put SQLite on here. I didn't ask for it to put SQLite on here at all. Never asked it to do that. And there's no way to change it. Probably I would have to reinstall, which I'm not finna go through the process every night. I already ran into too many issues, but you guys get the gist of how to install it. Just make sure I clicked through that. That's what happened. I clicked through that because I thought it was gonna give me that option. Like it used to just give you the option. What database do you want to use? And do you already have something set up for this? But it automatically set up SQLite, which no, I went through all that trouble to set up a MariaDB. I want to use that. I want to use a enterprise SQL database, not a little piece of crap SQLite or SQ. But anyway, you can go through adding all your stuff just like I showed you guys with the Ubuntu video. You can start adding all your applications. You can set this thing up and you can manage all your files from here. And so there you have it, folks. A fully functioning Nextcloud server running on Rocky Linux 9. And by taking control of your own cloud storage, you're not only enhancing your privacy, but also gaining valuable hands-on experience with Linux server management. And if you found this tutorial helpful, go on and give it a thumbs up. Share it with your fellow tech enthusiasts. And don't forget to subscribe to KeepItTechie for more Linux tutorials and tech career tips. Make sure you keep learning, keep tinkering, and as always, keep it techie. Whenever I talk to people, whenever I mentor people dealing with, getting into tech, you got to figure out what you like or what you're interested in. Because yeah, a lot of people get into the, tech field because you can make a good amount of money. The money is the motivator. But you also, in my opinion, in order for you to be happy, you got to like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And so, like for me, a lot of times it doesn't feel like work, bro. Most times it really doesn't feel like work. I'm doing something fun. I'm doing something I love to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes it, great for me.